Learn how to make this easy 3-layer bow using an easy bow maker. It's available in our TikTok shop or on our website, shopdesignerdiy.com. I'm going to start with 3 different ribbons, an easy bow maker, and a wire. I'm going to be sliding the wire down between the 2 tallest pegs. These are the same pegs you're going to be sliding all the ribbon down onto as well. I'm going to start with my 4-inch ribbon. This is my back layer, and I'm going to measure out 19 inches for the tail. As I push it down between those pegs, I twist the ribbon. That way, for the tail, the right side is facing up, but for this part of the loop, the wrong side is facing up. That way, when I pull the loop around to complete it, the right side is showing. It's kind of hard to tell when I'm using a metallic ribbon, but for the next 2 layers, you'll be able to see a lot more clearly. The loops for this layer are going to be 8 inches, and there are inch marks on the Easy Bow Maker for you to use. So I just measure each loop out to the 8-inch mark, and I push it down, and then I twist it. And I'm going to be doing 4 loops total. So there's 2 loops on each side. And the tails for every layer are always going to be 19 inches. So I am going to make this last loop, and then I'm not going to twist the ribbon when I put this down between the peg because the right side is already facing up, and that's what I need for the tail. So for right here, I'm just pushing it straight down, making sure my loops are even, and then I'm just going to even out the tails, cut them, and grab my next ribbon. My next ribbon is going to be a 2.5-inch rust ribbon with a glitter stripe. It is awesome. I'm going to measure out my 19-inch tail, and these loops are going to be 7 inches. So as I make each layer, I'm doing it an inch shorter for the loop size. And now that I'm using this type of ribbon, it's a lot easier to see when I twist it. You have a right side and then the wrong side of the ribbon. So I push it down, I twist, push it down, and then I'm going to do that last loop, and I don't have to twist it because you'll see the right side is already facing up. And then I'm just going to measure out the tail, snip it, and grab my next ribbon. This next ribbon is my favorite. It is a navy with copper leaf, and it is available in our TikTok shop. So I'm going to measure out the 19-inch tail, and these loops are going to be 6 inches. And make each loop. Remember to twist it. This ribbon is so beautiful. I love it. Alright, so I'm making my last loop. I'm just going to pinch it, push it down. I'm going to cut the tail. And now we're going to take the wire that we had first added, and we are going to tie it around all the layers. Now, as you tie the knot on the wire, you want to make sure as you tighten, it's going down between the pegs. It's kind of hard to tell in the video, but you want to make sure the knot is going down the pegs so you can slide the bow off and you're not tying the bow to your bow maker. You want to push down on the center of your bow pretty good to get it nice and flat, because as you're making those layers, it ends up really tall. So you just flatten all of the layers together and give it a nice tight tie with your wire. Flip it over, and I have a copper ribbon I'm going to be using for the center just to cover where the wire is. So I'm just going to snip a piece of that, and then I'm going to fold it to make it more narrow. Just fold the edges under, and I'm going to wrap this as tight as I can around the center, and I kind of pull the loops and the tails towards me a little bit so they're not pushed back. You want to get this nice and snug. I'm going to be cutting it a little bit shorter and then just hot gluing each flap down right over that knot that I tied in the wire. And I leave the wire on. I don't snip the wire because I'm going to be adding this onto the top of my fall tree. You can also tie it onto a wreath. So I'm going to fluff up all the loops, get everything where I want it, and then we are going to trim the tails. For the tails, I'm going to make sure everything's flattened out and layered over it, and I'm just going to be making sure they're about even. Clean them up a bit, and then I'm going to be dovetailing them. So I just fold the ribbon in half and I cut it at an angle, and that gives it like that nice V shape. Now for all of our ribbon, we use fray check. It's like a clear, probably nail polish consistency, but you just glide it along all the cut edges of your ribbon and it'll seal it and keep it from fraying. It works amazing. So we use it on all of our wreaths and our ribbon. That is also available on our site. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. Make sure to head over to our website.